Hello and welcome to Real Estate Simplified. I'm Seth Ferguson. On today's show, how agent marketing is changing more than just park benches, lead conversion secrets, and how agents can stand out from the thousands of others out there. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Real Estate Simplified. I'm joined today in studio by David Greenspan, the founder of Mindshare 101, and Erwin Cito, professional stock and real estate investor. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thanks
for having us.
Pleasure being here.
Yeah,
Pleasure being back.
Yeah, back in person. I know. We are excited for season 3. David, we talked about branding a little bit in the introduction and how that's changing. Everybody has seen the park benches and the billboards, but is that really working for real estate agents these days?
You know what, I would tell you that everything works. Everything can work and anything can work as long as you got the right plan in place, as long as the right channels are supporting each other, right? When we look today and we look at like the landscape, there's online, there's offline marketing. So you really need to use the right mix of both of those to be able to do what we call build that mind share. Mind share is a top of mind, intuitive, instinctive reaction to a product or service. So the more mind share you're building, the more market share you're getting. Now, how do we build mind share? Well, we'll break it down to say there's only 7 different ways to communicate with another human being. Now, if you look at the 2 audiences you have, you got the people you know and you got the people you don't know. We want to go after both of those audiences with all 7 ways. And as long as we're supporting it properly, right? That's a big word, support. If we can support it properly, then each one of those tactics can actually have a chance at working. So be it a billboard, be it a bus bench, be it an online digital ad through Google and or Facebook, all of that stuff can come together. But again, it needs the right types of support to make it work.
Yeah, and I think a lot of agents, they get into the business of real estate and they know, like, they're not given the education they need to actually market and brand themselves effectively. So for somebody getting into the business, like, what kind of steps should they be taking? What things should they be thinking about to actually set themselves up for success?
That is an amazing question. There's a couple rules of thumb here. First of all, first rule of thumb is build your contact list, right? So before you do anything else, look around the landscape of people you know. Look at that contact list of people you've got in your phone book on your phone, people you've had on an invitation list that you've sent out for a party before or some sort of anniversary. Look at your Facebook, your social media following. Take all of those people, get those people into a spreadsheet, then start to put together as much contact information for each of those people that you possibly can. You've now built up a proper database, okay? It's not just a phone book list. It's not just an email list. We're talking having, first names and last names, mailing addresses, email addresses, knowing the social media platforms that people are working on, being able to text, being able to make the phone calls, right? All of that comes together going, I can communicate. So step 1 is build your database. Step 2, and if anybody's going like where, do it in an Excel spreadsheet. Do it on a pen and paper if you want to start. It doesn't have to be something formalized yet. We just need the proper list of who we're going to market to. So the next part becomes, well, marketing. Well, what are you going to do for marketing? Well, let's go back to something we were talking about before. What's your budget? Because once we understand the budget, then we can explore what channels we're able to actually afford to use and how we're going to go out to that main audience from the database to start, again, building the mind share with them. Once we go out to that audience, that database, and we start to be able to pull some deals in and pull some business in, now we can look to audience number 2, which are the strangers, the people we don't know. And that right there, that's going to cost a lot more money to get business and to convert business than it ever will be to go after the contact list. So step 1, build your database. Step 2, determine your marketing budget.
Yeah, absolutely. And Erwin, you've developed a pretty successful real estate team yourself, and I think you got your start on the marketing side by blogging. So what did you do and how did that work out for you?
I like to write, so my marketing's always been doing what I like. So yeah, back in 2010, I started blogging. I don't think I can share the URL, but yeah, I had a website, used GoDaddy, registered it. WordPress was the thing, used a WordPress template to start writing, and sharing articles on information, because I'm always researching. As a professional investor, I'm always constantly reading, so I was just sharing what information I was consuming, try to give it a couple, make it short and concise, and also give some implications as in like what actions am I taking based on this information.
Yeah, I think you dropped a gold nugget there by saying you do something you enjoy doing, because that kind of builds in the consistency aspect, which a lot of people, they'll fall off the wagon if they're forcing themselves to take a specific action, whatever it is, right?
Yeah, there's space for everyone out there in the marketing world to do whatever they like, right? I don't have a TikTok account. So that's not my thing. I'm not big on Instagram. I prefer to talk and I prefer to write. So my preferred means is podcasting. And part of what I enjoy is also because what works. So the podcast was very successful. So that makes me happy. So I enjoy doing it.
Yeah.
And the wonderful thing about the podcasting is I get to connect with people I don't always get to spend time with. Getting an hour of your time is probably not the easiest thing to do, especially with how busy you are. So I got more than 2 hours of you this year already, which is, I'm sure not many people have beyond your spouse and your kids.
Yeah, that's right. My fiance Darcy is probably the only person topping that. So that's 100% true, and which is why we do this TV show as well, because I got to hang out with people like you guys. So, David, video has had a huge impact, especially with COVID.
Yeah.
What sort of things are agents doing now that are working extremely well in regards to video?
We know that short form video is where it's at, right? So we bring up the TikToks, we bring up the Reels, the Instagram Reels, right? We really look at the landscape of social media and go, it was at a time where YouTube was running the entire game. And let's not confuse YouTube as a social media platform, because it's not. It's a search engine, right? So YouTube is that long form content that you're going to put on a big screen. In the real estate world, it'd be a place that people are going to post up their virtual tours. That being said, when you look at what are people consuming these days, and that's what we got to look at, the same way everyone just brought up of doing something you like. And that's where it's going to lend to consistency. Well, much the same now. What we're going to try to do is figure out what is our audience looking at, and this goes back to what we said a moment ago. Where are they looking? What are they looking for? How can I serve that up while still being authentically who I am and doing what I like to do? So now you look at the video aspect and you say, again, that short form content is being viewed about 82% more than any of the other content that's out there, because it's very easy to consume. The other thing to video is that we know that there's year over year 100% growth, and Facebook actually says that there's 135% more views on video than there are, and this is an important one for people to understand, 135% more views on video than on any static picture post. So, for example, and this is one of the things that I share to people, right? You can take a photo of this cup, of anything you want. Take a photo, but if I shot a quick video of it, which was just, instead of a still shot, a pan from left to right, I now technically have short form video content that I could put out into the TikToks and the Instagrams and the stories of the world, and now I'm showing up in those feeds. The beauty of social media is when done properly, there's no cost to it. A little bit of time, but when you structure it right, it works. Now, the issue with that, when we talk about structure it right, do you happen to know the average amount of time that anybody's spending on social media in a day?
It's probably very scary.
It's very scary. 3 hours. Okay, 3 hours on average we supposedly spend on social media. So this is where I come back to you and say, look, structure your days properly, right? Because you don't want to get caught going down that rabbit hole. You waste a lot of time. And when you could have been producing a video to build up your brand, you've just been watching other people's.
Yeah.
But people are there, and that's the key. And I'm going to add one more thing in there. We have a big fear around getting on camera, around getting in front of people. What are they going to think? What are they going to say? Something to understand, though, is that people are going on social media all day, every day. And they're not going on there looking for the secret of the fountain of the youth or the magic golden answer to something. Most people are on there, they don't even realize they're on there. Let's go back to that 3 hours a day, right? So if they're just on there consuming content, be part of that content. Video will amplify your message at all times.
Yeah, 100%. Well, coming up after the break, we'll be talking about the lifeblood of your real estate business, lead conversion. Stay tuned.